Okay, guys, this is like the third try for daily devotional. My camera on my phone just keeps turning off. I don't know what that is. I'm also doing things completely out of order. I haven't done my journal. I did do my tuning forks first. I'm really busy today and tomorrow, so I'm trying to kind of like do the things that matter to me, even though they're out of order, because I need them to be able to function. And one of the things that I didn't really have a theme today, but I do have this section out of Anam Cara that I opened to this morning, and I thought, wow, this really fits. Your face is the icon of your life. In the human face, a life looks out at a world, and it also looks in on itself. It is frightening to behold a face in which bitterness and resentment have lodged. When a person's life has been bleak, much of its negativity remains unhealed. Since the negativity is left untransfigured, the bleakness lodges in the face. The face, instead of being a warm presence, has hardened to become a mask. When bitterness, anger, and resentment are left untransfigured, the face becomes a mask, yet one also encounters the opposite, namely, the beautiful presence of an old face deeply lined and inscribed with time and experience that has retained a lovely innocence. There's little bits here. The face always reveals who you are, what life has done to you. Yet it is difficult for you to see the shape of your own life. It is your life because your life is too near to you. Others can decipher much of your mystery from your face. Portrait artists, well, we won't read that part, but I think it's interesting. Like, I'm an artist, and I love to draw, and I've done a lot of portraits. And one of the things that I've always been complimented on is my ability to capture the eyes, the feeling of the person through the eyes. And I think that has something to do with my autism, because I paint what I see. I don't paint my feelings about what I see. I don't paint or draw or create my emotional connection. I paint or I draw or I create based on what I see, and then allow that image to have its own place and presence, its own transmutation of energy. I've transmuted the energy into something. And I've always been very self-conscious about how I look, and I know that our family, my mother's side of the family, the women, they have a very particular look. And I've noticed when I was a child and as an adult, I have this really discomforting feeling about how I look. And every once in a while, there's a picture that's taken of me, and I go, oh, I look like my family. And it's usually when I'm sick or I don't feel good. And then I have these other images that are taken of me, and I don't look anything at all like my family. And it's usually when I feel good and I feel bright and I feel light. And it really shows how your energy can transform who you are. And it's 100% right. You can't see your life clearly from the inside out. It's really difficult to do so. We need people around us that reflect back what our true values are, what our true feelings are. And surrounding yourself with friends and your chosen family that are light beings, that are spiritual the way you are, that give back to you everything that you give out, matters, because it helps your physical life work better, right? Like, everything feels better, everything works better, and you do the things that you're meant to do. And I think we all struggle with that journey sometimes, right? Like, we do the things that other people expect us to do and then spend time trying to figure out, does that really mean something to me? I've been the odd duck pretty much my whole life. I remember as a young person telling myself that I was never going to do something that I didn't love, like career-wise. And that hasn't always played out true. But one of the big choices that I made in my life is I moved from the South Alabama, which is its own country and culture, to Montana, which is its own country and culture. And I made that move with conscientious intent. I wanted to create the life that I was meant to live. And I'm still working on that, but I've become an active participant in it. I don't, when we talk about our face reflecting back, and there was a statement in that little thing where it said, life happening at you, to you. And I have a very particular perspective on that. You can let life happen to you and at you, or you can be an active participant in your life. You can start questioning, why did this happen? How did this happen? What is my lesson in this? Is it the lesson for me? Is the lesson for someone else? This whole last year, some of the outcomes of that are not lessons for me. And some of the outcome of the last year are lessons for me. But my lesson is unique to my blueprint. And then if you look at the cascading effect of me doing my job in that place for the last year, cascaded out a whole bunch of people that I affected change on purpose or by accident or with intent or by circumstance. But there was a huge ripple effect in my choice to take that job. And the ripple effect of my choice to take that job affected hundreds of people, possibly thousands of people. Now, good or bad, I knew walking into that job, it was going to affect many people's lives. 2 reasons. 1, the type of job it is. 2, I'm a catalyst. 3, I'm an active participant in my life. So when I make choices, the choices are not just for me, they're for everybody that I know that I'm going to encounter. And that probably sounds like a huge responsibility. It is, because we all have that responsibility. But the other side of that is, what are the things that I'm going to learn? That's what I focus on, right? I don't focus on the cascading effect. I focus on me, not to be selfish. But if I focus on me, those are the things that I can actively participate in. Those are the things that I can have change with. I remember back to the face thing and the image. I don't like to look at myself in the mirror. Ironically, I do a video and I look at myself in the video, mostly because I stay in frame. But my perception of myself and then what I see in the mirror are 2 very different things. And something that I had a friend of mine tell me years and years and years ago, I showed her a picture of my mother. And she said, I don't know where anybody would get the idea that you look like your mother. And I said, well, we do have similar characteristics. And as an artist, I can see the similarities. And she said, no, I don't think you understand, Red. Your light is nothing like hers. If you took a snapshot of a picture, yeah, you might have similar characteristics, but you're a different light being. And it really struck me. And so one of the reasons that I really liked that passage for today, even though I didn't really pick a theme, is that we each have a unique blueprint and we each have unique lessons. And it doesn't matter if you look like your grandma or you have characteristics like your grandma or your sister or your mother or just like your dad or similar characteristics to your dad. You are not your dad. You are not your granddad or your uncle or your cousin or your brother or sister. We are all unique, and we all have unique blueprints, and we all have unique life themes and vibrational patterns, and we all have different totem trees, and we all have these different things, and they matter, and they make you who you are. You are never going to be a cookie cutter of anybody in your family, and that's a good thing. And I have to remind myself of that sometimes, because when you're raised in a trauma environment, sometimes that takes reminding repeatedly. So when I get busy and I'm still not 100% recovered, I've kind of been running this weird, like, no fever, and then I peak a fever, and then I have no fever again. And when I peak a fever, I get really tired and kind of cranky. But yesterday I was actually able to sew for a little while and do some healing. And today's busy too, but I'm going to try really hard to take my rests in between. I have a beautiful tea date with a friend of mine this morning, and we're going to sit out in the grass in the cool, and we're going to enjoy each other's company. We haven't seen each other in months and months. So have a beautiful day. Have a blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow in prayer.